Darwin lived in the 1800s, and to become the discoverer of evolution, he had to have a solid understanding of science at the time. Today we're going to talk about what science was like before Darwin so that we could better understand how he developed his ideas. In the early 1800s, many people were under the impression that the Earth was maybe a couple of thousand years old. They also felt like the world had always been the way it was. Shortly before Darwin started his career, two scientists named James Hutton and Charles Lyell were studying geology. They suggested that the world was much older than currently thought and that the world was changing constantly. James Hutton, the founder of gradualism, one of the geologists we just mentioned, made many observations of ancient rocks and proposed that rocks made of lava had to have come from underground, or the center of the Earth. Charles Lyell, the other geologist we just mentioned, started the idea of Uniformitarianism, which basically is a theory that states that the Earth has processes that change it, like earthquakes for example, and that those forces have always existed and still exist. These scientists have theories that lined up perfectly with the theory of plate tectonics, which is the theory that large pieces of rock underground, aka plates, move land masses gradually. Scientists have found that the Earth has a few specific processes that help shape the planet. The first is weathering, which is when rocks are changed by water, other rocks, chemicals, etc. Erosion is when things are slowly destroyed and broken down by the water, or friction from the wind, and they are typically deposited in a new place. Deposition is when the deposit of a material in a new place happens. And finally, sedimentary rock, which is where different sizes of soils form rocks at the bottom of water bodies. Lamarck was another scientist who influenced Darwin's observations. He hypothesized the inheritance of acquired characteristics, or traits. For example, he believed in evolutionary processes, but he had a few of the details wrong. Lamarck thought that an individual species could alter their body parts and pass those traits on to their children. In reality, it's been found that actually our genes from our DNA is what's passed on, not adaptations we make during our lifetime. The last person that influenced Darwin's thinking was Thomas Malthus, who actually wasn't a scientist, but an economist. Malthus thought that if the human population continued to grow, we wouldn't be able to survive once we ran out of resources. Our population is stabilized by diseases, war, and food shortages. All of these theorists helped Darwin create his own theory, the theory of evolution. He needed an understanding of the world, and he needed to understand that it was old and changing, and that species had to adapt to this ever-changing world. Check out these sources for more information.